Hello, this is Lacquerography, and this is my wish list for Hella Handmade Creations, April 2024. I've already gone in and made a preliminary wish list, and 8 items have caught my eye at this point. Let's just dive right in and take a look at those 8 items that are currently on my wish list. The first item on my wish list is by Bee's Knees Lacquer, and it's called Spread Your Wings. And it says on here that there's no cap for this item. What that means is that this maker, Bee's Knees Lacquer, can produce, at this point, an unlimited number of this item for this month's pre-order shop. So for this polish, Bee's Knees Lacquer continues their theme inspired by the book Belladonna. Spread Your Wings is a pale pink pastel multichrome with aqua to blue shimmer and a scattering of silver light reflective glitter. Now when I saw this polish, I just thought that it was beautiful. I thought that it looked elegant and versatile and just sparkly. The addition here of silver light reflective glitter is appealing to me. I know that reflective glitter can be a little bit on the polarizing side because it is a little bit gritty in texture unless you tend to use a thicker top coat or otherwise a glitter smoothing top coat. For me, there's just something undeniable about that extra sparkle. There really is nothing else like it. For me, it's this base color combined with the shimmer, combined with the light reflective glitter. This just looks to me like it would be a very wearable and versatile polish, kind of year-round actually. This one was an easy add to my wish list this month. So this one is by Bee's Knees Lacquer, Spread Your Wings. This next polish up is by Emily DeMolly, and it's called Yellow Smelt Quartz. This one is a capped pre-order polish. So what that means is that there are only, in this case, 320 of these items that are being made available before it's considered sold out. So that actually is something that I'll have to watch out for. 320 items is not too bad of a cap, but I have lost out on some items before, so I'm probably going to have to consider shopping very early when the shop opens, meaning April 14th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, if I want to be sure to get this item, if it remains on my wish list. So with this polish, Emily DeMolly continues their Rocks and Minerals theme with a polish inspired by Yellow Smelt Quartz. Yellow Smelt Quartz is a pale yellow nail polish filled with a large particle blue to pink shifting shimmer. This polish just positively glows in all of the photos that I've seen so far. I've also been very drawn to yellow polishes lately. It's kind of a newfound love of mine. There's just something about this base color combined with that unbelievable shimmer. And this shimmer is described as a blue to pink shifting shimmer, which I think is completely unique to my collection. There's just something about this one that I know I will just love. I've really not seen anything quite like this one. So this one is by Emily DeMolly, Yellow Smelt Quartz. This next polish up is by Garden Path Lacquers, and it's called Silly Little Bear. This month, Garden Path Lacquers returns with their Retro Toys theme with a polish inspired by Teddy Ruxpin. Silly Little Bear has a teal jelly base accented with slightly frosty red, orange, green shimmer and holographic microflakes. And at this point, there's no cap for this one, so that's a good sign for me. Now, it's kind of interesting. This inspiration, that's not a toy that I ever had growing up, but I know a good friend of mine had Teddy Ruxpin. Teddy Ruxpin was one of those toys back in the day that was kind of the it toy, like everybody wanted it. It brings back some memories of my childhood, even though I didn't actually have Teddy Ruxpin. It's just bringing back memories of some friends and just of the time. So it's kind of a neat nostalgia factor for me. Also, I've got to say, the fact that this one is listed as having a teal jelly base, that actually still kind of surprises me every time I read that. I can kind of maybe get that because to me, a lot of these swatch photos have almost like a smoky quality about the base. To my eyes, it's actually more picking up kind of a tan brown kind of color, which appeals to me as well. So I have the feeling that in real life, this one would kind of be an unexpected look. On top of all that though, the shimmer and then also these holographic microflakes, like I think this one really could be an interesting play in contrast. Also, I've been really drawn to a lot of the offerings that I've seen across the last year by Garden Path Lacquers. I've been choosing to purchase several items by Garden Path Lacquers through a lot of these pre-order websites like Hella Handmade Creations quite a bit over the last year. And I mean, I know that I would really love the Garden Path Lacquers quality and polish. And there's just something so, I don't know, intriguing, unexpected, smoky yet sparkly. I think that I'd really like this one if I ended up picking it up. So this one is by Garden Path Lacquers, Silly Little Bear. This next one up is by Night Owl Lacquer, and it's called the Incredible Sulk. That's a great name. So with this polish, Night Owl Lacquer continues their Bob's Burgers theme with the Incredible Sulk. The Incredible Sulk is a chartreuse crelly with multichrome flakes that shift orange, copper, and gold. Now there's something just so bright and optimistic about this polish to me. It looks incredibly sunshiny, even though it's actually described as a chartreuse, but there's something about it. It's actually bringing quite a smile to me right now. I could see myself pulling a bright polish like this throughout the summer, and also as it turns into fall with those, first changing leaves in my area. I think that this would be a really beautiful polish, especially for that time of year. I'm not exclusively a seasonal polish wearer at all, but when I look at this, I guess that's what this polish is kind of making me think of. This is a really interesting offering, and it really is bringing a smile to my face, which is kind of a neat effect. Who thought a polish could really do that? But there you go. This one certainly is for me. So this one is by Night Owl Lacquer, the Incredible Sulk. This next polish up is by Paradox Polish, and it's called Start Your Engines. With this polish, Paradox Polish continues their series inspired by RuPaul's Drag Race and All Stars, with a polish inspired by, well, I'll abbreviate it by saying Alaska Thunder F 5000. You can fill in the blank. Start Your Engines has a cherry red base with a hollow silver magnetic stripe, black and silver metallic flake. And at this point, there's no cap for this polish either. Now, there's just something so unique about this magnetic. I've really been wanting to try out Paradox Polish, magnetic polishes in particular. I've heard such wonderful things about them, about their quality, about their uniqueness, and this one really does look special and unique. There's something about this one that reminds me of bright summer flowers, or actually even watermelon. I have wanted to try Paradox Polish Magnetics for quite a while, and this might be a really interesting chance for me to do it with such a unique colorway. So this one is by Paradox Polish, Start Your Engines. This next polish up is by Red Eyed Lacquer, and it's called Toto, I've a Feeling We're Not in Kansas Anymore. This one is a capped item as well. There are only 300 of these available. So if this one does make the final cut for my wish list and end up in my shopping cart, I'll have to consider purchasing quite early on April the 14th, as early as 12:01 a.m. in Eastern Daylight Time if I want to make sure that I can get a hold of this polish. I have actually lost out before on a red-eyed lacquer polish with a cap similar to this within the last year. So if this one makes the final cut, I don't want to miss out. So for this polish, Red Eyed Lacquer begins a new series inspired by iconic movie quotes, starting with a quote from The Wizard of Oz. And this has got to be one of my all-time favorite movies. My sister and I have watched this movie probably hundreds of times. Toto, I've a Feeling We're Not in Kansas Anymore is a bold medium blue crelly with a pink, orange, green, large particle shifting shimmer. Yeah, so this one just has all the feels for me. I love the movie inspiration for this polish, and I'm really drawn to this color as well. So it's kind of got me doubly there, the inspiration and also the color. I will have to think critically though to make sure that, I like the color so much, but I have been purchasing quite a few blues lately. So I am gonna have to dive into my collection a little bit and just compare this offering to some of the other blues that I've already got. I can't deny though, this one really is beautiful. I love that contrast of the warmer shimmer, the pink, orange, green, large particle shifting shimmer against that medium blue crelly base. It's just, I mean, it is kind of rainbowy. It is beautiful, and that inspiration, I'll have to think really carefully about this one, because the last thing I'd want to do is duplicate something in my collection. But I mean, this one, as I said, it gives me all the good feels. So this one is by Red Eyed Lacquer, Toto, I Have a Feeling We're Not in Kansas Anymore. This next item is the second item I've got on my wish list from Red Eyed Lacquer, and this one is their Encore offering this month, and this polish is called Reptiglow. And this one again is a capped offering with only 200 of these ones available. So with this polish, Red Eyed Lacquer has brought back Reptiglow for their Encore this month. From their Bioluminescent Animals series, this was inspired by the Namibian gecko. Reptiglow is a blurple Crelly with green shifting shimmer and a blurple glow. This one is so shifty and beautiful, and I love that shift against that deeper base color. Now I am going to have to take a look out for perhaps some other swatch photos. Well, I should really go over these ones here very closely and maybe check on social media just to see if there's any other swatch videos out there. But I am noticing maybe a tiny bit of visible nail line in a couple of these images. Now, I'm actually not opposed at all to some visible nail line. In fact, I quite like some sheer polishes. But there is something for me about the depth of this base color where I'd kind of prefer a fully opaque kind of finish. Now, I understand there's like ways around that. I mean, I could use sort of an undercoat of a matching base color or even a contrasting base color. Also, I could use one of those visible nail line blurring base coats to counteract a little bit of the sheerness, but maybe that is also just my eyes playing some tricks on me. It could just be that with people's studio lighting, perhaps it's almost exaggerating that visible nail line effect. Anyway, it's just something that I'll have to look out for. I do really love, though, this. I love the description of bioluminescent. I mean, that's what it looks like. It has such a glow. I mean, it's quite magical. And in contrast with the base color, again, it is a contrast, and it really does appeal to me. And the fact that this one has been brought back as an encore, I mean, actually, I wasn't aware of this polish the first time it came out. This polish was originally released before I even knew that Hella Handmade Creations was a thing. I mean, the fact that it was brought back, it tells me that this was probably a highly popular and sought after polish. I don't know, but I will have to think about this one a little bit. I love the deeper base with that contrasting shimmer. It looks absolutely beautiful, but that sheerness, that does stop me a little bit. And so I'll have to think about that one. Very beautiful though. This one is by Red Eyed Lacquer, and it's their Encore offering called Reptiglow. This final polish on my wish list was actually an immediate add to wish list the moment I saw it. This polish is by Rogue Lacquer, and it's called Lost Boys. For this polish, Rogue Lacquer continues their Peter Pan theme with a polish inspired by the Lost Boys. Lost Boys has a brick red base with micro orange glass flake and a splash of hollow. For me, it was all about this base color and then those flakes, the flakes and the hollow. It's just so unique, and I know that I don't have anything quite like this in my collection. It looks like such an interesting take on, in a way, kind of a neutral. I mean, it's a brick red base, but there is something just oddly neutral about it, even though there's so much happening in this one. I know that I'll love this polish, and the moment I saw it, just the uniqueness, the intrigue of that base color, the flash of those flakes and of the hollow, I know that I'll love this one. And as I said, it was an instant add to my wish list. I really do feel quite confident that this one will remain one of my top picks this month. So this one is by Rogue Lacquer, Lost Boys. So that's it for the 8 items in my wish list this month. I do have some front runners. I think that Bee's Knees Lacquer, just for how versatile it would be in my life. It's a nice, safe pink, but it's so special with the shimmer and the sparkle from that reflective glitter as well. It really is a standout to me. Also the Rogue Lacquer, that unique base color, as well as those flakes and the hollow, really beautiful at the top of my list. And the other one that's really getting me is that Emily Damali polish. It is just so shifty and glowy. And that yellow base, it's definitely something that I've been attracted to, and I truly have nothing like that one. So I think this month, those are probably my top 3. I would really love to limit myself to just 4 this month. I'm not quite sure what I'll do about that, the 4th pick. I'm thinking those top 3 are probably going to stay on my wish list and end up in my cart. I'm not quite sure about the 4th though. There's those red-eyed lacquer polishes. Both of them are beautiful. The brilliance, I mean, that night owl lacquer actually made me smile when I saw it. There's something so optimistic and happy about it. I'd love to try a Paradox Polished Magnetic, and that one is really beautiful and unlike anything I own. There's just something about that smoky base with the sparkle of that Garden Path Lacquers polish, Silly Little Bear. I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I do need to keep this purchase on the smaller side this month. So the shop opens on April the 14th, 2024 at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's an important time if you have anything on your wish list like I do, where there might be a small availability cap. The other reason why that shop opening time is so critical is if you're interested in shopping the overstock section this month. Very often, the items that come available for overstock are in such small quantities. Sometimes there's only 5 items or less, and you really have to be on the shop when the shop opens because they can sometimes sell out in minutes. And I know I've lost out on items that way as well. Other than that though, Hella Handmade Creations is open from April the 14th until April the 21st. So this pre-order shop is open for a full week for your shopping pleasure. So that's it for this wish list. I'm wondering, are you planning on making a purchase this month? Which items are catching your eye? Please feel free to add your comments and we can continue on the conversation. If you enjoy Hella Handmade Creations wishlist videos, please consider giving this video a like. It lets me know that you're interested in this kind of content, and I'll try to make sure that I produce content similar to this moving forward. Also, if you enjoy nail-related content in general, I try to release nail-related content as often as I can, and by subscribing, you won't miss out on any of the fun. Thank you so much for joining me this month. Happy shopping. Hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye.